And we're live on Facebook outside of Pastor Mervin Lee's house here on Stowe Street in Jamestown, and he's the pastor of what once was the First Church of God that we all saw burned down on Monday, a day after Christmas tragedy in the city, Ryan.
Yeah, this is a hot button issue, Justin. I was at the library last night checking out some books and movies, and the librarian asked me what the fate of the church was and what the status of the investigation is. Here's where we stand with the investigation. I texted Captain Robert Samuelson today, who told me, quote, that investigations can take months. In fact, he told me that he's still waiting for the determination of the Prendergast fatal fire in October to come back. That's how long some of these investigations take. Now, here are some of the things that our dear viewers and readers have been commenting about. Insurance fraud has been brought up, and we're not insinuating anything, so don't read anything into this, but insurance fraud has been brought up, and the reason it has been brought up because it is prevalent in cases like this where this church was built in 1938. It is easy to assume that it was foul play because somebody wanted the insurance money. Again, it's just a hypothetical scenario that we have to report because it's been brought to our attention. There's no factual basis behind that at all. The reason we're here at Pastor Mervin Lee's house is because they are holding a meeting, and this meeting is to discuss the fate of the church, Justin.
Yes, and we talked to Pastor Lee, who respectfully asked us to stay outside as him and his congregation discuss what's next. And I know in an interview with him yesterday, I really asked him, something like this is very hard on not just, him as the head pastor, but the entire church and the community. And he said right now he would like people just to pray, and that's what they're doing inside tonight and discussing what, in his opinion, is God's will, and that's what they want to portray going forward.
Unfortunately, not everybody is into God's will. Not everybody even knows what God's will is. However, people do want answers, and that's what we're here for, digging for answers, trying to get the community's reaction about a church. Again, the First Church of God burnt down. When I say burnt down, didn't burn all the way down to the ground, but completely gutted for all intents and purposes.
Absolutely,
Justin.
and of course, Cruz Monday night and then yesterday had to demolish the church, and the National Fuel Company, as we reported, was on scene. Community members on scene, remorsing at their church, and we've seen support for the church, and and as the investigation side of it, as you said, they are investigating. And fires like this, at least in Jamestown, we've seen, it takes time, but elsewhere, in your experience in Kansas, you told me earlier today about fire investigations, how the Topeka department can close something so quickly. In your experience, what is that like?
Yeah, the Kansas fire marshal can literally close an arson investigation within hours. I mean, it takes hours for them to rule arson. Now, I'm not sure in this case why the Jamestown Fire Department, I'm not bashing the investigators or the process. However, we do want answers sooner rather than later. And for Captain Samuelson to be waiting still for the determination of a fire in October is asinine. I don't care who's in charge. Get the right person in charge if you can't find a determination of arson in a more rapid fashion, especially when it comes to death, especially when it comes to high magnitude cases where churches are involved. Hundreds and thousands of people are involved in their emotions. The community, the fire that this elicited from the community was breathtaking. Everywhere I go, Justin, people are asking me what the status of the investigation is, and quite honestly, I don't have an answer for them, and the police don't have an answer for us.
No, and with all of the agencies working on this, from Jamestown Fire to the New York State fire officials and investigators that we saw there on Monday, to even the Jamestown police, hopefully they'll be coming up with an answer in the near future, but we just don't know yet at this point. What we can report now is that they are having a meeting inside of Pastor Lee's house, a closed meeting right now where his congregation is reflecting, and hopefully they will come up with a plan.
And, I'd like to be, I'm calling on the process to be more transparent with what's next with the church, because there are a lot of people, a lot of money, a lot of public money. Let me say that again slowly. Public money has been placed into that church at 291 Faulkner Street. So we want the best for it, but we want complete transparency about the process, and whether you're praying in there or discussing the future, even discussing something beyond the future and discussing what your next move or what the next location is. We want complete transparency because the community has invested dollars that we haven't even seen, that we don't even know about. That's a public entity that has received public money. So for us to be denied access to the meeting raises questions, at least with this reporter.
Absolutely, Ryan, and I can agree and disagree a little bit. It is his house. I can understand from his standpoint that he wouldn't necessarily want cameras in there, but hopefully he will make a comment to us at some point.
Well, I hope, but as we left the house, he said he'd call you, but he doesn't have your cell phone number, so I'm not sure how that's going to work.
I would hope he would contact WNY News Now,
we would hope.
either via my card or something.
And if he is watching this video later, even right now, please send us a message and let us know, because, again, we want answers for the community. We work for the community, not for politicians or for public boards. We work for the community. The community wants answers, and that's what we're here to provide them with answers. And we're not getting answers right now. That's why we're doing this video.
Yeah. So again, a private meeting, I think, would be fair to say.
Private in the best case, they kick the media out. So
inside of Pastor Lee's house here on Stowe Street, and we will continue to ask questions and follow this story for you. For my colleague Ryan Hedrick, I'm Justin Gould for WNY News Now.